One Piece chapter 1172. It's gonna come out sometime this week, I think. Yeah, waiting for it. Time for some predictions, I guess. Yeah, what do I expect from the next chapters? From the next chapter in per se. I think it's about time in the One Piece arc structure where we are getting to actual fighting. My least favorite part of the arcs, usually. I'm very much into lore and story and background and everything else, and the fighting is like my least favorite part about One Piece. But I think we're about to get into fighting right now. So I'm gonna wanna predict who's gonna fight who, because we don't know yet. Right now we have absolute God Knight domination up in the Sun Realm. They are winning against everyone and basically don't have any matchups right now anymore, except like random giants that are still holding on. Okay, so who do we have? Number one, we have Gonko with Imo inside of her, controlling her completely right now. So Gonko is basically gone right now and is just Imo controlling Gonko's body and Devil Fruit. So if we have Lord Imo Sama with the Aeronomy, who we gonna get up against that? I have a matchup and might be controversial, but I think it's about time we break the one-on-one rule of One Piece. Like usually in most cases we have like straight up one-on-ones. I think Imo is an enemy of a scale where I can't justify a one-on-one anymore. Like, obviously I would put Luffy in this matchup, but I kind of want to put Luffy and Brook together. And the reason why I want to put Brook in there is obviously Gonko, because Gonko and Brook have history. And I mentioned in an earlier video I made, I want Brook's ability to like transform in this year. The power up I want to give Brook over the time of this year is basically him evolving into using more musical powers again. Like he used to use his violin in battle often to like knock out random riffraff. But what I want him to do, since he doesn't have Conqueror's Haki, is to basically attack people's soul through the power of music. Like he can still use his sword, his rapier style combat method, but I would really like to see him use music in this battle, especially because of Gonko and Gonko listening to Brook's music being established. Like it's one of her hobbies. She listens to it basically every day. His music. So Brook's music getting through to Gonko is like right there. And yeah. And I think that would be great to lead into how Brook's gonna advance his powers in this year. By the power of music reaching the souls of people. So I'm not gonna say that they straight up defeat Lord Imo in the body of Gonko. No, I don't think that's gonna happen this arc at all. I don't think Imo loses. Imo either leaves on his own volition because there's something going on in Marisha right now, where it's just the reason why Shamrock had to leave. So Shamrock has to leave. It's too important that he can stay. So why can the biggest of them all, Lord Imo, stay? Doesn't really make sense, does it? No. Either that, or we actually get to free Gonko somehow. That's the second option I see. Like, okay, the third option is Gonko straight up dies. Death. If Gonko's dead, her body dies completely, gets eradicated, then Lord Imo can't possess her anymore. And it wouldn't be as much as a loss of Lord Imo Sama, more like, okay, yeah, this vessel was too weak. This body, Gonko, she was too weak. Not necessarily an L for Imo, it would be, but Yeah, I guess it's the last option, but I don't actually see that one. Like it's either Gunko getting liberated with Emu in her, or Emu being like, oh no, there's something going on in Majishwa, I have to leave. Okay, so my first matchup would be Luffy and Brook versus Gunko. Second matchup, we have Saint Summers. Saint Summers is a real asshole, but his devil fruit, his sun fruit, has something to do with the more love you have for someone when touching those thorns, when you use it on the children, was the more it hurts. So that alone, and the fact that he fights with thorns, which makes him hard to touch because he surrounds himself in thorns. That alone, these two reasons, I definitely want Sanji to fight him. Because Sanji's gonna have to kick him. He has to like touch Summers to actually fight him. And we had this short part where Gaban was like, yeah, you can only defeat them with Conqueror's Haki, and Sanji was like, do I have Conqueror's Haki, Gaban, son? It's like, and Gaban didn't really answer that. It's like he only said that Zoro has it and Sanji doesn't. So either Sanji has to unlock it or find his own way of fighting a God's Knight by the power of love. The way Sanji is usually fighting is like, when he deflected Kizaru's light beam, he was like, yeah, love is stronger than light. And Kizaru was like, okay, I guess we have to rewrite the laws of physics then. So yeah, maybe Sanji finds his own way of fighting Summers. Do I want anyone to fight with Sanji? Yeah, maybe Gaban. Like maybe we have like a really hurt, beat up Gaban who just got stitched up together by Chopper, because they are both heading up right now, and Gaban was like, I wanna see to my kid. Maybe a really badly stitched up Gaban is kind of mentoring Sanji in this fight. So yeah, I'm really all in for like, this is a fight where we can't be like one-on-one anymore. Like we have a bunch of Straw Hats knocked out right now, and that might be like one of Oda's plot points where we have like forced one-on-ones, and right now we don't have enough enemies for forced one-on-ones. So okay, we have to get rid of some Straw Hats, so that's why we have them tied up right now. But yeah, as seen with Gunko, I'm very much of the opinion that we're gonna untie those Straw Hats and get them back into battle with Brook. Yeah. Next matchup is the Man of Dreams. What's his name? Killingham. Yeah. The mythical devil fruit model Kirin. Dragon mythical devil fruit model Kirin. We have to have the the God Usopp matchup here. Like literally Fear Man, a character all about fear, against a man all about nightmares. What are nightmares? It's our fears manifested in dreams. How could we not have Usopp fight him? Like there's another matchup where Usopp is also relevant with the giants that are Domi reversied. But the Killingham matchup would be really interesting, and people have mentioned it and said it would be akin to something like Perona fighting Usopp. Like Usopp is so afraid of everything that him fighting manifested fears would be massive for me personally. And I don't have anyone else I want to have fight Killingham, honestly. Like Zoro? I don't have anyone I actually want Zoro to fight here. Like I would have said, oh yeah, Zoro has to fight Shamrock because he uses a sword, and that makes sense. But none of these people make sense for Zoro. So maybe Zoro teams up with Usopp again and fights Killingham. We had some Zoro-Usopp matchups, and they're ridiculous. Actually, this would work because of the nightmares. And I think it was Tekken who went through and said what all the nightmares of the Straw Hats would be. And for Usopp, it would just be him being like very, very miserable and very small and that. But the thing, actually, I think Zoro's nightmare would be way scarier than Usopp's nightmare. So if killing him was to use nightmare powers against Usopp with this nightmare, that wouldn't be much of a danger or threat to Usopp. I think Usopp beats that. But Zoro's nightmare might actually be some real trouble. So this matchup of those two against killing him kind of works out in a way by balancing that. So yeah, Zoro and Usopp versus killing him. Alright, then we have the giants that are Domi reversed right now. And I think Harudin, the giant warrior pirates, and Loki have to fight with. On one hand, I'm like, yeah, we kinda have to like undomi reverse them. But the one method we've seen so far to undomi reverse someone was on God Valley. And yeah, it's to punch them really hard with a lot of Conqueror's Haki. So, I guess Loki can do that. Does Harudin have Conqueror's Haki? I don't really see it in him. I don't think it's confirmed for him or anything. I don't think he does. So yeah, I guess just Loki punching a bunch of giants real hard. And the reason why that makes so much sense is just simply the scale of things. Like human characters fighting the giants, I can't really see. Zoro would cut up the giants. That's not really gonna work out for undomi reversing them. They're just gonna be minced meat after that. And Loki uses at least in hammer, so that's at least just blunt trauma they are getting. They probably survive, and we have Chopper going up there to see to everyone. So I guess we have Loki punching people out and Chopper taking care of the wounded afterwards and being like, hey, I'm gonna make sure they're not dying from internal trauma from your hammer. So yeah, there's your matchup there. And do we forget anyone? Yes, Nami. We don't have anyone to fight Nami. I guess we could put Nami into the Killingham fight or the Emu fight. In either of those, we just put her in those. And we also forgot Robin and Jinbei. We don't have them in there anywhere. Like Jinbei could also be put in any of these matchups. I don't really have a strong feeling about him in any of them. I guess I would put Jinbei somewhat against the giants. And yeah, Jinbei against the giants. And Robin as well against the giants is a really good matchup for her with her giant body parts. Like again, like scale of giants makes fights really difficult unless you have like a character like Luffy who can turn himself giant, or Robin, she can become giant. Like yes, you can have Zoro cut down a giant, but yeah, it's not much of a clash or anything really in that way. So yeah, alone because of the scale, I think Robin versus giants actually makes sense, and then Jinbei in. I don't have nothing for Jinbei, man. Yeah, Nami was killing him. That makes sense for me. And Jinbei can fight Saint Summers with Sanji, I guess. We're just ganging up on them now. And Frankie is just off, like still looking at the mirror and just doesn't do anything, I guess, in my scenario. Yeah. The problem we have right now for one-on-one, we have too many Straw Hats here, so either they stay bound up and knocked out and Oda's like kind of copping out with that, or we free them and then we have like a scenario where we just gang up on God's Knights. So, but I really want Brook to be involved with Gonko. I really want to go into that, man. So we kinda have to free them. So maybe some Straw Hats gets actually terribly wounded in those fights as well. Robin is actually kind of knocked out right now. Like Robin is seriously hurt from Saint Summers. Even more reason for Sanji to fight him, because he hurt a woman. Like, what a terrible man who hurt a woman. Yeah, I'm confident in the Saint Summers Sanji matchup. It just makes sense. Like Sanji having to hit him through the thorns, and Summers being like, haha, I have thorns all around me. If you hit me, you hurt yourself. And then Sanji does it anyway. And Summers is like this sniveling man, this really wretched sniveling man. And it's like, what the fuck? You just hurt yourself just to hit me in the face, man? What's wrong with you? I can really see this matchup, man. I'm hyped for that. And also the fact I really want Usopp to fight Killingham because of the fears and nightmare. The whole thing around that. So yeah, we have to unbind some Straw Hats, but maybe some of them get knocked out. Maybe we have like Jinbei really, really badly wounded by Imo / Gunko. And yeah, maybe have some Straw Hats knocked out of the fight, but some still join up. I mean, I can see Frankie like getting into Frankie Shogun and brawling with some giants as well. Like Frankie comes back and it's like, oh, I got Frankie Shogun from the boat because I heard there was trouble here. Yeah. Fucking mech warrior against giants. That would be cool. That would be so cool. Yeah, but I really expect the next chapters to be all about fighting and all about combat, and we are like out of the major story arcs. Maybe we get some drizzle, some food, but yeah, mostly we're gonna be getting some fighting. Are the Straw Hats gonna win? I don't know. Like I said, I don't see them straight up beating Imo right now. They kind of have to like get somewhat of a knockback at least to make the God's Knights and Imo-sama as a final villain like to scale where he actually is. But I also can't see a complete defeat. Like I don't see Elbaf just being lost to Lord Imo-sama right now. I'm kind of split on that one. Something has to happen to make everything make sense. Yeah, but that's about it. Bye bye.